Hello friends, Zithel here. Welcome back to another episode of my Let's Learn series on All the Mods 3. Today we're going to finally finish our smeltery and get some ore doubling done so that we can have all the ingots. So since last episode, I went and filled in our little creeper explosion area here. Built that up a bit, put some cobble underneath it. I think you still see some kind of in between there. We do have this kind of completed. The hole's filled in. We got it. There was one thing I did want to do before we really get into this, and we might lose our iron because of it, but I want to do it anyways. I picked up a bunch of extra bricks. Oh, and also I created a few more chests just so I could get a little more organized. You'll see my inventory is looking a little bit better. I've placed kind of miscellaneous stuff and unprocessed ores, some weapons in this one. In this one, kind of nature things with mob drops. And on the final one, anything that looks like a block or stairs or something like that. So what I wanted to do was make this just a little bit bigger, and it's only going to take 4 more blocks, I think, if I added it correctly. So let's grab that. I'm just going to make it a 4x4 just to... So I also noticed underneath here, if you're playing on the same map, there is a bunch of gravel down here. So this is a nice area that you can clear out to get a bunch of gravel. So go ahead and do that. So we're going to clear out this little area. And I think this is going to kill all that wonderful iron that we had in there. But I do want to make it just a little bit bigger. So we need those two. Oop. We'll fill those with... fill that with dirt. But sear bricks here, 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 and then these two, and that should... Oh, it retained its tank. That's kind of good to know. Cool. Let's put a little more dirt here. Could be stone. And now because I've created a 2x2 area, 2x2x1, it's only 1 level high, note that you can make this grow now if you wanted to. I could get 8 more blocks and create another layer on top of it. When I go into the smeltery controller, my 2 ingots are there. I have 4 spaces that I can put things, and the capacity is now 32 ingots, so 8 times however many holes I have. Wonderful. So let's get started with this. I also noticed that I am getting low on food. We are going to need to work on a farm. I think that might be next episode. And we're also going to make this base look a little prettier. This is our first one. I do want to move soon. We should find a permanent space to live. That's why I don't want to get into anything too in-depth until we find a better place to live. But for now, this is our home. So I'd like to make it look a little better. And part of that is we're going to need a small little farm. I don't want anything big, but I have no actual way of getting food, so we need to do some of that. Anyways, let's get back to here. So we have molten iron in here, and we have this drain and a faucet and a table, but nothing's happening when I right-click this thing. And that's because we need to have a little stamp down here. Now, if you're low on materials, grab yourself some clay. And I'm going to take some of these. Some glass in there. I'm going to take a few of these and turn them into bricks for the moment. And we can put my glass back in here for now. And I'll show you why I want that. Let's just grab one of these. Cool. So here, what I need to do, I need to be able to create an ingot. And when it's done, it's going to look something like this with the ingot in there. But now I need and let's go into this to get the right name of it. We want to go and the smeltery. Actually, I'm not sure where this is located. Let's go into @Tinkers. We're familiar with our patterns. We can use those and somehow make them so that we end up with... There's a lot of stuff in Tinkers. These casts. We want casts so that we can create these things. Now, a really cheap temporary way of doing this is if we go here and pop 2 pieces of clay in, we'll see that get melted. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow us to create a one-time use cast. Now, that's not very useful on its own. So we're going to do this first and then look to see what the permanent way of doing it. And to do that, you either need gold, which we currently don't have, or a combination of copper and aluminum. And I want to grab some of my iron also so that we can start smelting some stuff down. So looking in here, the clay is almost done. It's going to get melted and it's going to mix in with here. You'll notice those two stacks are now on top of one another. This will also combine metals, but if they can't be combined, they'll just sit on top. And when you click one, it moves it to the bottom, and that's the next thing that's coming out. So I have my 2 clay ingots down here, and now when I go to click, well, apparently that didn't work. I feel like I'm missing something. Let me check, and I will be right back. Okay, so I see what's happened here. I've gone through and searched for cast underneath here to get the cast, and there's 2 types of casts. One, a regular metal cast. 2, there's a clay cast, and that's what I was trying to do with this one. But you'll notice, while we have an ingot cast, we do not have an equivalent ingot cast here. We have a sharpening kit, some other stuff. There's a pickaxe head, things like that. It's starting to get dark, but that's why that wasn't working. So let's try doing it on something that we may find useful. I'm going to go to sleep for a second. And what we're going to do is create a temporary cast for a new pickaxe head. So we'll pick up that ingot that we had put in here, because apparently you can't make a temporary ingot cast head. See, it's a let's learn. It's all of us learning, not just you, not just me. We're all learning stuff. And what I want to do is go over into here, and I'm going to create, if I get some cobblestone, I'm going to create me a pickaxe head. And notice it's 2 materials to get that. That's an important thing to keep in mind. 2 ingots worth. So if I come over to here and now pop my stone pickaxe head on, because you'll notice I can't just take iron and put it through there. That's you can do it with some materials, not all of them. So now we'll double check that clay is available. It is. Now we can pour it over there, and we have created a nice pickaxe head cast. I can take this off once it's done, get a little flame effect. We have a clay cast, so this is 1 use only, and it takes 2 units, which we do have 2 units of molten iron. So let's pour that in. You see it fills up, the tank is empty, and when you hover over it, you can see it's starting to cool into an iron axe pickhead. Now once I have this, I can head over to the tool station. I'm going to repair it just so it's nice and full, and then I'm going to replace the pickaxe head. So now that I have an iron head, which if I look at it before, I see my mining speed's 4. I have 3 modifiers. Now my mining speed is 6. In addition, the mining level's diamond where it used to be iron. This is great. So we're going to take that as our new pickaxe, which is awesome. Okay, now the only unfortunate part of that is we used up our cast, and as we saw, we didn't get an ingot cast. So in order to do that, if I go back into here, we see we have other cast, which is an ingot cast. And this is telling us how to create it. We just dump something on an ingot, and it'll give you 44 pages of the various ingots. You can put it on, but if something looks like an ingot, chances are it's going to make it. And in order to make it, you'll notice it says you need 2 ingots of molten gold or 1 ingot of molten brass or molten aluminum brass. And we're going to look at molten aluminum brass. So when we look at this one in the smeltery, to get aluminum brass, I know it has a recipe somewhere. There it is. On the alloy. Okay, so you need this alloying tab. So this is to make, there's no such thing as aluminum brass ingots in the game. Instead, we look over here and we see we need 1 millibucket of copper to 3 millibuckets of aluminum. So now that I've made this a 4, let's take 3 pieces of aluminum to 1 piece of copper. So I'm going to dump all these in here. I'll shift click them so they go in. The aluminum has a very weak melting point, so that's in. We see the aluminum's in there. Now, really cool, once this goes, it's going to go in there and you're going to see it start to combine. This is the only dangerous part of our smeltery is that if you accidentally put a bunch of materials in here, some of it could alloy, and some mod packs will change what alloys with other stuff. Generally, copper likes to alloy, so we can see these are mixing together, and we see the amount of copper is going down, the amount of aluminum is going down, but the amount of aluminum brass is going up. So we're going to create our so we're going to have a lot of aluminum brass here. 8 ingots? Yeah. The 4 blocks should create 8 ingots worth. And it's done. Now it's all aluminum brass. Now while that's going, I'm going to put in some iron ore here to start melting, but we have 8 ingots. So let's get back to that ingot cast. Now that I put this here, cross your fingers, we click it. Oh, look at that. And now we have a beautiful ingot cast. So we can put in here, we can swap through it, and once we look, we can see there's casts for everything in here. And this is how you create the materials to create better items and better pieces for your tools. So once this is done, this is getting close, and if I wanted to, you'll notice now there's 7 ingots, right? It only took 1 ingot to create the cast versus 2 gold. If I wanted to, if I wanted to clear the space in there, because iron is not going to mix with aluminum brass, I know that for sure. I could clip off this and I'll get 1 piece of aluminum brass. But we have our iron. I'm going to click it so that it goes down to the bottom, because this is what's going to drain out first. And I click. Lo and behold, I get an iron. So now I can sit here and continually do this and get the rest of my stuff. Pretty awesome. We used a total of 4 iron ores, and from it we are getting 8 actual ingots. We have successfully doubled. We didn't use a lot of power. Like I said, the only thing it uses is lava. That's one thing we'll need to find a supply of. And let's not go on another adventure like that, because that took quite a while to go through. And now we're going to go through here. So now that we have this done, I am bored of sitting here. I'm already bored of sitting here and clicking this thing and constantly feeding it. So what I want to do is automate this. So now that we have our iron pickaxe, we can start doing more things. Okay, so we got that. There should be 1 more ingot left. Perfect. And so we're going to take that down. Let's go back into the caves for a second. Now that we have a lot of iron, we have a lot of iron to process. Still 42. That means it's going to create 84 nuggets. We're going to get to wear some armor and go on an adventure soon, so I'm excited for that. If we create vanilla, there's going to be another way to create armor. Of course there is. It's modded Minecraft. But for now, let's go down into the depths and see. Let's get a few more materials, because I want to try to automate some of this stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back down at Y level 11, and there are some more ores up here that I had to skip before because it needed a better pickaxe. Now that I got these, I can start picking some of these up. What we have here is some lead and silver. Might as well pick those up on the way. I've also been clearing out along the bottom, because what I'm specifically looking for is, I'm going to clear this or else I'm going to bump my head off. So what I'm specifically looking for is redstone. And the reason is the item that I want to build is something called a Redstone Clock. Now this is a really unique single block from Extra Utilities 2. And what it does, it continuously pulses out redstone signals that you can turn on and off. And it's going to be clear how to do that. It's going to be clear very soon why we want to do that. So right now, that's what I want. And you can see if I go into the recipe, it just requires a little bit of redstone, a torch, which is just a little more redstone, and some chiseled stone, or any type of stone. It doesn't need to be chiseled, just any type of smooth stone here. So a really simple recipe for something that's going to be really effective for automating our creation of our ore dump. So right now I'm just on here trying to figure out, I need redstone ore. And I dug around here, haven't found any, found a few other things, a little more iron into there. You can see we have found a few more materials. I need to find redstone. And if there's something in the game you're not sure where it is, I'll show you a really neat thing you can do. So if I look for redstone ore, we can see here's our redstone ore. There is destabilized redstone ore, which also spawns in the world. But we get to redstone ore, and along here we should see something that looks like a world gem. There it is, world gem from J and Just Enough Resources. When you click on it, it's going to give you the chance that something's going to spawn and which Y level it's going to spawn on. So I can see redstone spawn has a 1.37% chance of spawning anywhere from Y level 3 or 2, probably even 1, up to about Y level 16. So the first 16 levels is where you're going to find the most redstone. And likewise, if you're looking for other things, like you want to see, well, where does diamond ore spawn? If I look for the same world gen, I can see once again, just like redstone, it is between 2 and 15. Now, those are for the really good materials. Once again, that's why I like mining down here. But if I look for copper ore, we can see there's a few different copper ores from mechanism and from thermal foundation. If I click on one, well, for some reason, this isn't showing up in World Gen, even though it's supposed to. But yeah, apparently it is not right now. I guess some of the things don't have it. I'm used to a lot of the ore seeing it. By default, you should be able to find something in here. So I'm in the right area for finding redstone. I just don't know where there is. There's some chaos ore from silenced gems. So we need to dig around. So let me take a little bit of time digging around, see if I can find from redstone ore and well, that actually turned out to be easier than I thought. We just I started doing a little technique called strip mining. If we're looking for items, I could pick a direction and say, okay, let's peek through this hole and see what there is. And we find, hey, look, there's some chaos ore in there. But almost instantly, we did find some redstone. So let's go ahead and grab that. That is a very interesting lighting effect. We'll grab all we can here. And a little bit of lead, we'll pick that up too, since we're here. And we have galena ore, which now, because I'm using iron, I can pick up. So let's just pick up some of that right now over here. And I encourage you just to pick up stuff also. If we're not sure what it is, don't be afraid to pick it up. It won't matter too much. We'll check our light levels. You can see here's where monsters could spawn, so let's create a little torch. And that makes it so monsters won't spawn there anymore. Perfect. Okay. Now you're going to see why I love having the stairs here. I'll probably hit my head a little bit in a bit. But let's run upstairs. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It makes it much easier. I should go pick up those ores also. It makes it much easier to run from all the way to the bottom to all the way to the top. And we can turn off light levels. Okay, let me organize my stuff. It is nighttime. We're going to sleep. Once I have a good night's sleep, we'll come right back. Okay, so we've woken up from a little bit of a nap. Let's head down. I keep bumping my head on the ceiling. We should probably fix that, expand that. It's daytime. But now we can build our redstone clock and start automating some of this stuff. So let's get our wood. It should be in here. There's a couple other pieces. I don't think I have any sticks. No. So let's get some more sticks. So we have 24, plenty. We'll grab you. The one thing we do need is some smooth stone, which I cooked up a little earlier in anticipation of this. And I think we put that around, and that in the middle. Oop, and this around the side. And we have our redstone clock. Now, in addition, we're going to want a lever. Let's make one of those. Now let's head back over here and see why we're doing all this. So we still have our 7 ingots in, which we can use for making more casts. But for now, I'm going to put a temporary block here and put my redstone clock on top of it. And you're going to see immediately it's now signaling to create that. Okay, now it's trying to click it more, but there is something already there, so it's not going to be able to do it. Now when I put a lever on there and click it off, you see this turns off. So if I take my ingot, nothing else goes. But as soon as I click this back on, a redstone signal goes on, and I create more. Pretty good, but we're not quite there. So we did collect a bunch of iron. We're going to use that right now, and we're going to create just a standard vanilla hopper. So let's grab ourselves a chest. And of course the iron to make a vanilla hopper. And I do want one other chest. We'll probably use a lot of chests, so I'm just going to create a bunch. And I do want another hopper eventually at some point. And so now let's dig under here. Just clear this out for a second. I'm going to put one of my chest here, and I'm going to put the hopper on here. And I'm going to turn this off for the moment. So we can see there is an ingot in there, our cast in there. When I put the hopper on, if I click on this, if I hold shift and click, I got it on there. Now the ingot's gone. The cast stays there, and the ingot gets placed in that spot. So now when I turn this on, we're going to see the aluminum brass come out, creates the ingot, gets sucked into the chest, the next one goes. How awesome is that? We've partially automated the creation of ingots using our little system. We're going to let that drain out, and we're going to put some iron in here. So let's start doing that with iron. But we want this to be a little more effective. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wait for a couple pieces of iron to come out, and I'm going to create a second hopper, and you can hopper into the Smeltery controller. Let's put our dirt back so it looks nice. We'll clear that up a bit. And once that goes in there, we're going to create, we're going to grab the first 2 pieces of iron and create another hopper going into it. So 1 second while that happens. Okay, looks like we're just about done. It should go in there. We see ingots in there. Now it says 7 because if you look on the right, it is already starting to make this using the Redstone Clock. That's pretty damn cool. So we got our 5 in there. Let's go back into the base, make one more vanilla hopper. And we're going to attach this now to the side over here. So I've done on the side, we can see the hoppers going in through here, and now I'm going to dump my iron in here. So the first 4 pieces goes in and starts melting. The other ones are coming through here. How awesome is that? So now, as these melt and get put in here, 4 more will get put in. This will clear off, and this will automatically now start just creating my nuggets. I don't have to do anything for my ingots. Not nuggets. We just automatically, this is working. This is awesome. Once this goes, we'll just double check it. We'll see in a moment that it comes through here. Now, if I ever want to turn it off, because we're going to want to use the Smeltery to improve some of our other tools, if we ever need to, then we can just flick the lever, turn it off, and it won't automatically expel. But since we're just getting a bunch of iron, we can see that this iron will now melt into here, and it's starting to drain, and 4 new pieces have come in from the item hopper. So now it will process all of this stuff for us. And without getting into energy, this is a nice, easy, early game way to do ore doubling. We're going to let that go, and we're going to start processing the rest of our ores. So I'm going to also put copper in here. I am pretty sure that copper and iron don't melt, but we'll keep it there. We'll start looking at. We'll start doing it that way for now. I'm pretty sure they don't alloy into anything, so that will start going there. We can get our other ores going through here, but you just have to be careful, right? Like if I were to put now aluminum behind this one, this would probably come in around at the same time, and it would smelt and alloy into aluminum brass. In which case, then it would make more of this stuff, which isn't bad, right? But we have that. We have this whole system is up and running. The only improvement I think I would make at this point is to increase the size of this, just so we can do more at a time. I think that'll be very useful. Let me clear off this block to make it look a little nicer. And I think the only other, I think the only thing we want to do maybe is raise this up another level or 2 just to improve our capacity, both for stuff getting melted at one time. That way it'll happen a little faster, because we can see this is catching the ingot creation is happening much faster than the iron ore melting. But that's what we have. Cool. Now, having said that, I'm looking at my hunger, and it's getting pretty bad. So I think we want to probably end the episode off and make a little farm for ourselves. So let's go through and let's do some of that. So let's go and grab ourselves. Sorry, my voice is got a little more dirt. I do want more dirt because we want to smooth it down. We're going to make this look nice. I think we're going to create a farm kind of over in this area. So I'm going to start clearing off a little bit of area over here. And we're not going to make a big farm. Like I said, it's going to be a smaller farm just for now, just so we can get started. So this is going to be the area. I'm going to run over. I have no seeds, actually, so I need to go and break seeds and mushrooms. Let's do this right now. I'm hoping to get some sort of crop. we go. We got some cotton. Oh, that'll be nice. Cotton seeds is a good source of string early game. We have some industrial hemp, which is another good source of string. So let me just do this for a bit. I'm going to collect some seeds. I'm going to walk around and see if I can find all the grasses I can. Then I'll head back to our base and start putting together a little farm. Okay, so we've run around for a bit. We've hit a bunch of grasses. We've gotten a few things. We've gotten some cotton, industrial hemp, and regular seeds. I have a bad feeling that I just realized my my inventory was not completely empty at the time. I have a bunch of stuff in here. Let's dump our blocks. This one's a nice, easy one to remember. I'm just going to clear off a few spaces. The other thing I used my bucket of water to go get, or used my bucket to go get some water. And now we're going to create just a little, we're going to create a little farm here. I'm not going to do a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do know that whenever the water is placed, anything in a 4 square radius will get automatically hydrated. So we can 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically we can go on the other side, but let's keep it small for now. And I think I'm just going to kind of fill in this section. So we don't have a lot of seeds. We're going to start easy. We know we have some grass seeds. We're going to plant those. We have some cotton seeds. We want to plant those. And I think barley is almost the same. If we don't really need it right now, industrial hemp, I'm also going to plant. That's going to get us some string. So we're going to plant a little bit of that. We'll save it. Do we have any potatoes? I don't think so. I don't think we have anything like that. I think the rest can probably just go into here. I found some random other stuff, including all these really glow roses, which we need to figure out what we're going to use that for. We'll keep the apple because I am getting hungry. We're doing this just in time. I'm starting to run it. And it's not a very exciting looking thing right now. There's only one crop that's going to feed us, and that's the wheat. But these ones are going to be good for string. We want to start building some more useful pieces, and we'll do that. Now, the one thing I think that I'm most disappointed is the cave is not looking so hot. I mean, it's a cave, and it's great. We have this. It kind of stands out. So I think in one of our upcoming episodes very soon, we want to take a look at finally doing some beautification of our area. That's kind of what I want to work on, I think, next. Like I said, we want to do some stuff to make life easier on us. You can see we've already created a stack and a half of iron ingots. It should be now melting the copper pretty soon in there. It's grabbed a few. Well, it still has some iron to go through, but we got the copper. And I think that's our first piece of copper. Nice. Okay, we have the copper going. Now that the copper is going, we can pick our next ore that we want to do. Let's say some tin. I'm hoping tin and copper doesn't melt, but by the time this gets done, you know what? I'm going to hold off on doing that one. We won't do it just yet. We'll do that. We'll do that pretty soon. But I think on our next episode, we definitely want to, now that hopefully we'll get our food situation solved, at least for now. Oh, we got some cotton already. Fully grown, and we got some cotton. There we go. So this cotton is from Natura, and if I click use on it, we can see 9 of them together will make a piece of white wool. 3 of them will make a string. So that's a really handy early game resource to have. Helps you with the cotton and the string, especially if there's no sheep nearby. We got lucky, we found some sheep right off the bat. And so that made it pretty easy for us to get our first bed. So I think that's our wrapping up point. Let's go stand over here while we take a look around. Yeah, I think we're good. So that's all for today. We've gotten our smeltery up and running, automatically creating ingots for us and doubling it, which is really, really important. That's what we want. We did a little bit of that. Our base needs some work, but we also planted a little garden for ourselves. We have some food starting. Hopefully I won't starve to death by the time I finally got around to that. And next episode, I think we're going to look at a little base magic. Anyways, until next time, my name's Ethel. Take care, and I'll see you later.